Okay, so today I'll be reflecting on the ISTE standards for educators. So let's get into it. For the first one, learner, I chose four. I think that as an educator, I'm continually improving my teaching, learning, and I feel like I myself am a learner. I'm teaching English, and I really enjoy learning languages myself. So I like to use what I learn in my own personal studies in the classroom as well, which includes technology. Um, Currently, I'm in China, and I feel that in the classroom, we're kind of limited to only a smart TV in terms of technology, but I still try to find ways to use that device to make it more to make the class more engaging. So for example, instead of just using PowerPoints and kind of making my class like a lecture, I try to find games or PowerPoint games that the kids can come up and touch. Um, or I use apps like Rosetta Stone, and the kids really enjoy learning with that. Okay, so the next one is leader. Educators seek out opportunities for leadership to support student empowerment and success and to improve teaching and learning. So I think this one I've not done so much, um, but I think it's because I'm in China, and typically the foreign teachers are we have a contract for a year, whereas like the native teacher or the teachers who are from that country, they will have contracts that are like 2 to 3 years, and they typically stay longer, or they're from the city. So I think that's why I haven't really set out to be a leader. I think it's not really within our. It depends on what school you're at. Okay, next one. Citizen. Educators inspire students to positively contribute to and responsibly participate in the digital world. This one it's kind of. I put four. I would say so because I think you need to learn how to effectively communicate with people online. That's just part of the world that we live in now. And you need to know when, like, if you're going to get into like an argument online, then you need to know kind of like when to stop, or how much is too much, or is it really worth your time? Um, and there's just so many other things that can happen online as well. So it's really important to teach these skills. I'd say currently, um, in China, there's not really if you're in school, you're not really going to be online that much, um, or at least unless you're in like in high school. So it doesn't really apply to me. Next one, collaborator. Educators dedicate time to collaborate with colleagues and students to improve practice, discover and share resources and ideas, and solve problems. This one I'd say that in general, I think I do pretty good. I think we know like which students need what. However, I feel like teaching in it's kind of a generalization, but teaching in Asia can sometimes be more like business focused. So schools will put all levels in your classroom, from like native English speakers to zero English. And then it's kind of like some schools they will say like the parents won't be happy if everyone doesn't learn the same thing, because it means like, oh, my kid is doing worse. So then they kind of try to force everyone to teach the same thing, so it's not you can't really like individualize learning that much, although it's like definitely the most effective way. But I would say I think I'm pretty good at this one. Okay. Designer educators design authentic learner driven activities environments that recognize and accommodate learner variability. Um, this is the only one I chose five on, but if I was doing it again, I would say four because I always think there's room to improve. I would say over these 4 years, definitely I feel like I've created an environment where kids can be kids. Sometimes it's very stressful for kids to be in school for almost like 11 hours a day. Even with naps and breaks and stuff, I think it's still difficult. But I feel like students in my classroom, they feel comfortable to be like kids, and they can play a little bit and they can express themselves a little bit. Well, not a little bit, but they can express themselves a lot. And I think that they can be creative. They can be creative in like acting, role play, art. I try to put in multiple techniques to make the class engaging. Okay, next one, facilitator. Educators facilitate learning with technology to support student achievement to the ISTE standards for students. I think this one I would say also pretty good because, okay, so wait, hold on. Technology. Um, I would still say it's on this one. I would say I'm still doing pretty okay because I am actively always seeking new apps that I can use in the classroom. Once again, we have a smart TV. There's apps where you can install them, and then students can play games or educational games. And yeah, so I'm always looking for those. But in China, it's a little different because some apps will be blocked. So it can be difficult sometimes. But I'm definitely using a lot more technology in the classroom now. I can take pictures of students' work and then share it on the screen. That's one thing that I've been doing lately. And yeah, also classroom management. There's also an app for that as well. It can also choose call on students by random, put students into different groups, or it has some other cool features too. So I always try to use technology in the classroom. And last one, analysts. Educators understand and use data to drive their instruction and support students in achieving their learning goals. This one I can work on more for sure because we have grades, but I feel like, well, we make the test, and I feel like because there's so many different levels in our classroom, it's kind of hard to say, well, um, are are students really learning just by the test? Because the test can be kind of far removed from, are the kids actually learning English? Because sometimes we teach quote unquote language arts, which is kind of like grammar, and it's grammar in English, and then sometimes the kids can't even really read or understand the instructions of the test. And a lot of the test is just like spelling words and phonics, but then if the kids don't actually know what they're saying, then it's kind of hard to remember the word because that all of that is connected. So um, yeah, but um, I think that we could gather more data on this on the kids and really see, okay, what works and what is not working. But I think that the way that we're at my school, at least the way that we're currently doing it, um, it's not really like applicable. You can't really use the data because the data has um, issues in and of itself. Okay, so thank you for listening. See you next time.